Pam Richardson of McCarthy Retail and Louis Wilsonack of Bolzell Wilsonack Africa each read about INROADS in the Harvard Business Review. Pam contacted INROADS and discussed ways for her to access this technology because of the great need for such a thing in her company and the country. Later, Louis contacted INROADS and the two were encouraged to work together if they desired to have INROADS in South Africa. After more than 5 years of dreaming, planning, encouraging, fundraising, and organizing, Pam and Louis now have a dream realized. INROADS is open in South Africa. Ring that causes my faith to be renewed, makes my heart leap for joy. That what INROADS offered us was a formula which was simple but which we hadn't explored in this country. It looked at a way of blending talented youth into our businesses in a way that the company could handle as well as the individual, and it seemed to be a very exciting process at that time. Now, over the years, the pressures on us and the need to find talent throughout the entire population of this country, instead of in the 10% that we used to focus on, it's become more and more important. The businesses have become globalized. There is a new government which has put additional expectations on companies, and really there's a sincere desire within companies to diversify. And INROADS does offer a way to do that. The fact that it's been carried out successfully for 28 odd years in the United States says to us that we don't need to learn afresh. We can learn from America, make the adaptations to this country, and really benefit from your experience. So INROADS to me is an answer. It's not the only answer, but it definitely deals with a challenge that we, up to date, have not handled very well in this country.
Okay, INROADS is important in South Africa, I think, because at the moment South Africa is a country in need of everything, especially for people of color. And the creation of opportunities, particularly the creation of management job opportunities, absolutely critical. My experience with INROADS in the States leads me to believe that I think the program and process could be of a lot of use to these kids. They've got an enormous cultural gap to fill in a very short time in which to do it. So I'm looking forward to having some small role in INROADS, and I'm pretty comfortable that it will make a substantial impact here in South Africa.
When no one Dr. Connie McCauley is the Vice Chancellor for a school called Technicon Wits, similar to our community college system in the U.S. In her role as the head of one of the largest tertiary institutions in the city with 3 campuses, her educational background and professional experience have both been recognized and rewarded. She is also one of the phenomenal women I met while there, and it was a privilege to have the opportunity to speak at length with her about the educational system in South Africa. Until 1991, blacks were not allowed to study math and science. These subjects were taught in Afrikaans schools primarily. Pre-1994 elections, there were 18 different school systems with varying levels of quality education. Post-1994 elections, the system was combined into one in principle. However, the practical application of one school system is still in its embryonic stages. For example, the pay scales for teachers in non-white schools was dramatically out of balance. The disparity in skill levels of teachers is also significant in that they were not teaching math and science. Now that all people are free to speak out, teachers in need are demanding that their needs be addressed, and according to Dr. McCauley, rightly so. As a result, the government's budget for education is now primarily being spent on teacher training and making salaries equitable. That leaves little resources for new books, new schools, or renovations of schools in a state of disrepair. For example, the Afrikaans schools had the most and best resources, while the others had little. In almost every corporate call, the conversation around the quality of education for the previously disadvantaged population was the primary concern. The significance for INROADS interns is that tutorial assistance will not be optional, but a mandatory requirement to ensure academic success. In the U.S., we know the amount of effort it takes to recruit and place 75 interns. That's the December 98 goal of INROADS South Africa's operation. All that would need to be done would take far more resources than we had. In comes the need for volunteers. As usual, an angel was sent to us in the person of Sandy Turner, president of Simages Consulting International and an African American who now calls South Africa home. She is now serving as the volunteer coordinator, and in 3 short weeks, 65 volunteers from the corporate and education communities attended an orientation to learn about INROADS. They have already begun by interviewing more than 200 students for Talent Pool and will help with student training. All the people of the earth, all the people of the earth need to know who is singing. Being 9,000 miles away from home for 3 months can be trying in the most adventurous circumstances. The entire staff at the Courtyard at Santon Hotel became my family and sometimes administrative support away from home. The last week, I hosted a dessert and frappe party for all 30 of them to say thank you. Stephen, the general manager, warned me that there could possibly be some entertainment in my honor, and he was right. Everyone arrived on time except for the housekeeping staff, and here's why.
Salam
will reflect and formulate thoughts and opinions about the chance to live, work, and make a contribution in South Africa. As of August, 47 internships were confirmed from 7 companies. The process for recruiting students is underway. I have new friends and an extended family. It was exciting, overwhelming, hard work, a labor of love, very interesting, extremely educational, humbling, and, in short, an opportunity of a lifetime.
So parched and very dry. Can't tell how long it's been since I seen the river overflow. Sure would love to see it again. Like you tell Joe, profitable. He said it was right. Send that light, tell that rain to come, and